All right. A meditation you can repeat. It is a preparation for the coming equinox. It is important that you let go of something that is part of your current identity but doesn't serve you anymore, isn't really who you know yourself to be, wasn't anything you were even thinking about. But no, the change is done. The change is complete. You don't need to review the meditation. It's more as a curiosity. It's a more if you want to do it more consciously, but it doesn't need to be done. Change is complete. Or it was a preparation. It is not the equinox, but it's a preparation, a foundation from who you are becoming. And so we have time for some questions. John, who do we begin with?
Helen.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
I had a couple questions, but I guess I'd like to talk about the meditation.
All right.
Um,
Came up.
so I think the pieces have been coming over the last couple of days. I I think I was in the not good enough category, and it was more, like I'm a victim, I'll never get what I want, blah, 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 blah. And which, I've talked to you a lot about. I'm sure it's that whole, give Edward what he wants and mom's focus on getting Edward what he wants. And what I realized recently, recently meaning like earlier today even, was I've made Jews and like the synagogue too real. Like Jews in America, they always get what they want, and the Palestinian Americans never get what they want. It's that same thing. And I've made them so real. There's kind of this, you know, less than. I was talking to Harry. He has 21 first cousins, and I was at a family cousin's birth, like three cousins all have their birthdays. And I was talking to this one cousin who's super, 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 super wealthy. And about my movie script and kind of maybe getting the movie funded. And he was super interested. And, I don't think he knew I was Palestinian American because I normally don't talk about it. But I've talked to him over the years. And so I think like he knows me as just me and not as like Palestinian American. And so then I think he was a little surprised and he was very enthusiastic. And I kind of stepped into my old, bolder self. Like I used to be so much bolder than I am now, like in my 20s. And I was just having fun with it and having fun in the conversation. And I think and it was interesting because I think I gave him hope that here's this reasonable person he could talk to who's like part Palestinian with interesting content. And he was like, there's a lot of money that the Jewish community has raised for things just like this, but there's not a place to place it so easily. And and so he's going to connect me with a bunch of people who and I think it was uh that I have that and so kind of what was coming up for me earlier today and then very much in that in the meditation, it was that feeling of I'm less than. And there are these people that always get what they want, and I never get what I want. And so when I'm around the Jewish community or in the synagogue, I have to tiptoe around and be deferential. And as I was having that conversation with him, I wasn't being deferential. I was just having fun and like offering hope and playfulness. in this really tough situation. And so it felt very much like that's what was there in the meditation, was making it all less real. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. So, in order for you to be in that future, which you are creating, it is happening. It's not just a whim, it's not just a fantasy, it's happening. The you that accepts that reality isn't the you that feels not good enough, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's not a resonant match. Really let in, I have changed, I am growing. And there is more to gather. There's more energy needed from that my spirit needs to gather for me. But I am enough. I'm good enough. I have created an opportunity, and it's the future that's brought that to me. The past is not relevant. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited about it. I'm very,
Yes.
um, the movie script's coming along great. I've started writing it again and it's just downloading, and I am more just connecting with my whatever unseen friends are downloading it and just letting it be a download and not me efforting to write it. And so I'm very much enjoying that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I did want to talk to you last week. I didn't get the chance to talk to you, and there were a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about. But first of all, since then, on Thursday, one of my closest friends from college, her husband passed away. And I normally, it doesn't bother me like when people pass because I think it's great. You're not physical, it's easier, like you're not really dying, you're just moving on. And I was really mad about him passing. I was very upset about it. And I don't know whether I was just connecting to my friend's energy, but it was very much a shock. He died in his sleep, and he, frankly, I like him better than my friend. And he's so happy and at peace. I think he just left because he had nothing left to do. And I wonder whether his name is Indran Subramanian and he lives in Victorville, California. He lived. And I just wonder whether that's it. Like he just left because he was really happy. And he's only been retired 3 years and he's been traveling around the world, sometimes with his family, my friend and their two children, and sometimes by himself. And he's had he worked hard, had a great career, retired, traveled, had fun, loves his kids. And when I saw him last at the end of May, he just was like joyful. And maybe is he just like a there to create a template of how to move on and how to move on gracefully?
Well, that is a map that you are making, isn't it? And so it would make sense that it would start to show up in your reality. Now, of course, the shock is important to address. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I meant this for the general public, not for people who I love. I want to choose when they go. But that is not your purview, is it? As your understanding, well, maybe his soul was done being physical. Maybe he came to do what he did to make that map, a map of joy. As you just let it be, whatever the messages come, to commune with his higher self and say, what's important to me? What is it? What's important for me to know? Because this was unexpected. I didn't want him to go. What's the more real of this for you? Is it that Well, my unseen friends just grew. One more being who's supporting me on my journey. That's one possibility, isn't it?
Mhm.
So it's important.
Yes.
There's a mystery there for you. So I create my own reality, but I didn't want this, but it's having impact on me. I get to choose what it means. Part of me wants to be angry. It was quick, it was sudden, I didn't get to plan for it. I don't get to have the physical future with him anymore. And the other part says, no, I'm making this map. It makes sense that there would be people I know who are following my map. A map of joy, a map of peace, of love, of transcendence. So it's more than one answer, more than two answers as you go into the mystery of it. It's a matter for soul, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So to take that time to be with soul, for soul. Does that help?
Yes. Um, and one of the question I wanted to ask last week, there are a couple, but I was listening to Bashar, and there's two different questions I have. One was Bashar said that when you're like when you have these movies, like actors making a movie, for example, they're actually bringing in that parallel universe and putting it side by side with the current one. The actors are, when they're good actors, are actually able to kind of pull it in. Does that mean there's like a real Star Wars universe out there?
Certainly.
Like with Luke Skywalker and Leia and like their real actual consciousnesses?
Absolutely. Any thought is a consciousness. So that is why it's important to which thoughts do I want to generate? Which ideas, what concepts do I want to develop? Which realities do I want to imbue my universe with?
But like, is it an actual like multiverse universe? Like, is there a Harry Potter universe that where there's actually these characters running around?
They were created in imagination, yes. Your version, you did not choose to have that version be your reality in this lifetime. There are constructs in the belief system at the moment that don't allow Harry Potter universe to be real, only to have a glimpse of what if it were real? Is this something I would want? What do I like about it? What don't I like? So the movies give you a wonderful opportunity to explore realities without having to create them yourself. Because
But
you,
they do then exist. But then they like our imagination, like there's enough of us believe it, so they actually exist
well,
in a different.
it's actually more simple than that. It's because it is in your imagination that it comes into existence. So as you really let that in, oh, well, all my lifetimes are simultaneous. Do I have lifetimes that are in Potter world? Yes. Do I have lifetimes that are in the scary movies that I don't want to watch? Yes. Whatever's being filtered, whatever's in the illusion, there's a reality where you are having experiences. It doesn't serve you to have conscious awareness of all the various brain split offs, parallels, other lifetimes, past lives, future lifetimes, whatever. But they do all exist as soon as there's the idea So you want to, when the concept of bringing all your lifetimes home, well, all time is now. As soon as one lifetime comes home to God Goddess, by definition, all the parallels come home as well. Coming home to God Goddess means different things to different incarnations. But ultimately, there's the highest truth of coming home, meaning returning to the oneness. But as the unique individual that you are, is really your choice in this lifetime. Some of you don't understand how important this lifetime is. When we say you're the map maker magicians, these are your words, the meaning of which is, I'm here to make maps for consciousness. I'm here to evolve human consciousness. And when I begin to think on what does that really mean? And when you're just going through your day-to-day living and you're not that aware of the maps you're making, am I creating a map of elegance and ease? Am I creating a map of being free to be me? Am I making a map to love more? Whatever that means to me. Am I making a map around imagination or creativity or passion? Am I making a map around kindness and grace and forgiveness? They're not mutually exclusive. You don't just pick one. You're making many maps, but there's one desire that your soul, your higher self, God, Goddess, has for you. And that's for you to be more and more and more. And along the way to discover who you truly are, the infinite being that you are. The co-creator that you were always meant to be is a map you're making to consciously co-create with your higher self. Well, I feel like I'm already doing that. Yeah, and there's more. To consciously co-create with soul and spirit. Yeah, I've started doing that. It's a little bit more vague than higher self. There's a lot more to experience there. And then the co-creating with God and Goddess. Have to wean yourself of all the old definitions first of what God is. Many of you were born into is it a loving God? Is it a punishing God? I don't know. Choose. Okay, I choose a loving one. But I know people who choose the punishing one, and I don't quite get it. But they are. So you're making maps around choice. Do all of these realities exist? Yes. Do you want them to have impact on you? Some of them, not all of them. You get to choose which ones do you want to have impact? Which ones do you want to make more real? That's what I get to choose. You are an infinite being, but you're in this physical plane that has current laws of reality at work. Are they changeable? They are. Are they there with purpose? They are. So as you move forward into expanding, what can I create? What do I give myself permission to create? What do I want that new world to be, free of some of these limitations that I came in to explore, that I put there before I arrived? Free of those limitations, who am I really? That's the exploration. Still, it's in the physical plane. Still, it's you want to be able to communicate about it. You're here with to have a physical experience. You're here to commune with other souls in a way where you're in time and space, so focused, so precise, and yet in that focus, an entire universe is expressed. Which one am I in is important to know. That's the skill that you developed by separating from God Goddess, to have the capability to define at any given moment, this is where I'm at. This is my reality right now, is a power that did not exist before. Lifetimes of differentiating, of separating. You, the furthest most point of separation, have honed that skill so beautifully that in any given moment, if we were to ask you, what is your reality? You could define it. You could play it out as a movie. You could write out a book, a novel of all that's going on. And there would be no doubt in your mind that this is the reality that I am in right now. And then you have your higher self come in and say, but is this the one you want? And you think, well, I don't know. Let me think about that. Well, there are some things I don't like. There's some things I don't want. Okay, let's change it. Let's create something new. And you are expected to let it go and create something new. That's the skill you've developed. So as you really let that in, there's nothing you cannot create. You can create everything and anything. And these realities that are coming through the arts from the dew line of reality, whispers of what you could be creating in the future. And you listen with your soul. Which one do we want next? Which one do we want to be more like? Which one resonates with us on a soul level? I think I'll put energy into that. I think I'll put energy into being loving. I think I'll put energy into creating peace, but not just any kind of peace, not resignation, not one that lacks will or love or passion, but one that has all of that and more. My individuality matters. I worked hard to create it, as you like to say. I worked hard. Well, you didn't really work hard at all, but you created it in time, in space, and you showed your work. And in some versions, you struggled. In others, you had it elegantly and easily. In some, you had a lot of pain. In some, you had less. But you did the work, whatever that work was, before you came into this one. It was already done. But in this one, you're going to show yourself, look who I have become. To honor who you are, which you forget every time you take the physical form. So fascinating that you have that mechanism. No, I don't want to be bothered and influenced by other lifetimes. I'm happy to have access to them when I'm ready, but I don't want to be completely imbued with all information. I need to know where I am, who I am. Some of you have had this experience when Lazarus has had the magic time and you get the microphone and Lazarus asks for your name. They're listening to your soul. Who are you right now in this moment? And there have been times where Lazarus said, oh, we needed another minute. We weren't quite sure which you we were talking to, and now we know. Isn't that fascinating? There's more of you at work at any given moment than you give yourself credit for. However, it's important to honor the individual you are because that's the you that is making the choices. That's the you that has the power to change reality in an instant just because you want to. And so we always say, with harm to none, with elegance and ease, in such a way that is for your highest good, so that you can relax, so that you can assure the positive impact you are here to have. So important. All right, we love you so.
Can I ask one related thing to that?
Briefly.
Can you then create two realities in the same moment
So what
with
did you not understand about everything is happening all at once?
no with somebody else? So like a simple example, um, Jasper's dad, Scott, wants Jasper unleashed all the time. This is just a simple thing. And I've started to I won't explain why, but I've started to let Jasper off leash for 2 to 5 minutes so Sandy and Jasper can have this game of chase. And I was wondering, can I have a reality where where Jasper's on leash? Well, I'm experiencing a reality of Jasper off leash. So honoring Scott's fear of Jasper getting hurt with with letting Jasper and Sandy have this 5 minute exuberant, joyful game of chase. Can there be those two parallel realities going on at the same time? Can
They
I?
are absolutely occurring in parallel. However, there is no bleed through. So the accountability is in your consciousness. The choices are all in yours for this, what you are experiencing. So the parallel you is making different choices. The parallel you gets the one where the relationship with Scott, the permissions, the whatever. The one that you're in currently, it's important to understand, okay, I'm doing this thing. It has impact. What do I want to create with this? What's important to me that I need to express first to myself? What's important about it? So as you really let in, okay, you don't get the parallel. You have a different one. The one you're
Okay.
in is the one where you're having the dog go off leash. Does that make sense? So there was a fork. There was a time when you were, we'll call it compliant
Okay.
because you don't like that word. So we're going to use that word.
Yeah.
You were compliant, in agreement. What you were actually doing, you were creating a reality where Jasper was one way. And then in that reality, same reality, you got your dog. So as your dog started walking with Jasper, there were new dynamics at work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the you that is responding to the dynamics is who matters. There is a parallel you where one, you never got a new dog. There's the one where you got a new dog and you follow all the same rules that Scott taught you are good behavior, so to speak, good quote unquote, what you should do as a pet owner. And that's the you that is willing to go along with whatever the rules are. There's no judgment.
Right.
But the you in this one doesn't really appreciate rules too much. You're not willing to just have rules be rules for no reason. They must have a purpose.
Right.
They must make sense to you, and they must have a positive purpose in your reality. Does that make sense? Now,
Yes.
as you're breaking away from the rule that you know is the rule of the other dog's owner, how are you communicating? Because
I'm not.
if you
Yeah.
don't communicate, then you're kind of leaving it to chance. I hope he doesn't notice, and it's going to build anxiety. Because every time you think the thought, I hope he doesn't notice, how much do you know that you create the consequences? How much do you really know that you create reality and the consequences? So this is a tricky one. And it's not uncommon. We're not calling you out or anything. We're just giving
Right. Right.
an opportunity to understand, oh, the cost to me. So I've been experimenting, I've been exploring, and I've been free of outside influence. So it's actually been kind of good. I've been able to observe, kind of like in a little experiment. It's not very controlled, but it's an experiment. And it not having his input has been helpful because then I don't have to deal with him. But by now you have enough data to understand maybe it's time for me to decide what is important and what is the truth of the matter of being trusted to walk his dog. What was the original agreement, and does it need to be revised? That requires communication. That requires interaction. That may even require permission. What if he says, no, I don't want you walking my dog anymore. You didn't follow my rule. You see the threat that might be stopping you from communicating. But would that be your spiritual adult? Or would that be a different aspect? What would you be projecting onto him that would keep you from knowing that you can have a conversation? And if he says no, he says no. So just check inside. Who's upset the most about being told what to do, about being told no, about being withheld from? You see that those ranges are negative futures that you're putting out there that you now have to deal with. So what are the positive ones that balance it out? Well, there's the one where I continue to get to walk both dogs together and take them off leash and have fun. And I'm in charge. I'm responsible. I'm the adult. I don't do it just any time. I have a certain area that I do it in. And I feel confident in my relationship with the dogs that they will come back when I call them. That's a positive version, isn't it?
Yes.
And in that version, do you have the other dog owner's permission?
No.
So if you have the permission, then that would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Because then it also assures the future of, well, I get to do this not just for now, but I can do this for a while, maybe a few years. Maybe.
I was thinking maybe I could create these parallel universes at the same time.
Oh, they're all
And
happening, but you don't get
yeah,
them. You don't get to be in
okay.
them. Other
Gotcha.
of you are in those. So you see that it comes down to character. So there's a red label tape that Lazarus has that when Katrina started doing it, she got really embarrassed because she was being spontaneously honest. Honesty and integrity is the name of the red label tape. Reprogramming yourself to be spontaneously honest. Because with honesty comes integrity. With integrity comes character. And Katrina would be in the middle of some work environment thing and she would just say what she thought. And they would look at her like, why are you sharing? Or what, we don't need your opinion or whatever. And then she'd get embarrassed. But after she got over the initial shock of it, because she wasn't comfortable communicating honestly, she was really busy being nice to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when she started being honest, she saw the reward. Oh my gosh, nobody died. Nobody attacked her. Some people got upset, but they got over it, or they didn't. But she survived being honest, spontaneously honest. It's what's required for there to be any level of intimacy. So as you look to your relationship with Harry, you have that. Have that freedom, you have that space. It's to be cherished and it's to be intended for all of your life, not just these little segments you see.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a risk? Yes, you might upset him. He might not let you walk his dog anymore. So you're going to have to be aware and present and accountable for the impact you're having. Got to give you some bad news, but it's good news. This is what I've been doing. This is what I learned. But I need you to have some time to let me know. What do you think? Because if you're not willing to hear what he thinks and feels, you don't really have a friendship
Right.
because you haven't created one by being a friend. So as you let that in, so you may not have intended for this to be such a serious topic. It's an opportunity for you. I know who I am. I have honesty. I have integrity. I have character. And part of me knows I'm trying to finagle here because I have to show up with who I really am. And I'm worried I'm not going to get what I want. So what's important here is to start visualizing, how do you want this to go? What's important? Is it to be able to walk the dogs on your own and do whatever you want at all costs? Does it matter if you continue to have a friendship? We sense that it does, or you wouldn't have brought it up. So as you dream it the way that you want it, the way you intend it, this is very important because many of you are stopping short of dreaming the new reality the way you want it because it's uncomfortable, because you have to be honest. You have to admit, I haven't really wanted to be transparent. I didn't want the bad news. So I'm just going to control myself. I'm just going to do what I want. And I'm going to pretend that I'm controlling myself, but I'm really controlling everybody else because I'm not giving them all the information. I'm robbing them of choice. The choice to respond, to feel their feelings, to think things through. to create a new reality together. I've decided I don't need to give them that choice. Because, well, they're just an illusion, aren't they? No, they're not an illusion if you allowed them into your heart. You allowed them to be more real. And what are you projecting onto him that it's scary to even speak about it? Who are you identifying as? It's not the spiritual adult. And so as you take care of the adolescent, take care of the child, this is not for you to handle. This conversation is for me to handle. I made the choice. I've been exploring. I'm happy about what I've done, but I don't want to have negative impact. And the longer I do this and don't share, the more anxious I'm getting because I haven't chosen the future I want to create here. Because I keep thinking I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm not even visualizing the positive reality I could be creating. Because Helen, take a moment, see the future of having a conversation and having him be grateful that his dog's so well behaved and he trusts you completely and he knows you so well and he trusts you with his dog and he knows that you will do the right thing. And how does it feel to carry that mantle of responsibility? His trust in you. Does it feel good? Does it feel great? Does it have you worried or anxious? Ask your higher self for help to visualize the most positive, the most optimal reality. Ask for the help. And let that good feeling create the opportunity to express what's happening. Oh my gosh, I was so worried, and you might still be, but let me share something with you. I feel like I need to share. Or however you do it. You have your own language. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, so there's a parallel reality. There's one where it all goes swimmingly well. Didn't have this hiccup, this anxiety, or this moment of decision. That one already went and created the positive reality, knew that it was going to be no problem, and it wasn't. Do you choose to align with that one and converge with it? Because you do that too. So you have split offs and then you come back together, and you have split offs, you have come back together. Choice is the key. All right, we love you so. We know there are other lines, so we'll go for now.
Thank you, Tara.
Absolutely, we love you so. You're right on track. All right, and Monica.
I can get it.
Yes, dear one.
Um, I wanted to ask you. I was talking to you several times about a situation that an obstacle had to happen, and in simple terms, myself, obstacles are still there. So, and back for a year, I created them still to the exit to the level of energy negativity very high.
So
it
is very difficult to hear you. We do understand what you have said so far, but is there a way for you to speak more into a microphone?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, yes.
So I'd like to know, since the obstacle is still there and interest is still there, how is this going to generate, even though I thought about it, is it going to, like, it's going to parallel where I'm able to go back to communicate, because I know his level of human anger was very high, and they are just really resistant unless he's able to stabilize that. Hey, I shouldn't be listening.
Okay,
I
so
don't know how to handle this. Kind of a little bit in the human world, kind of upset.
all right, so
Kind of
we're
upset
going
about
to address the first thing you said. There's an obstacle.
this.
So that tells you exactly where your attention has been. So even though you're also evaluating, where am I at? How am I doing? Is it shifting? Is it changing? The fact that you think of it as there is still an obstacle means that is the reality that you're focused on, which means that you cannot see all the other possibilities. So by deciding this obstacle, if I could just remove this obstacle, then I will get what I want. However, that is not how you create reality. You create reality by visualizing, desiring, imagining, expecting what you want, filling yourself up with the possibility of it. Now, in your case,
How are
you,
you?
you actually will
Hi.
need to release the form that you expect it to be in, because you had a form in the past, but that's already done, meaning it happened. It's in the past. It's in your backdrop now. What's so right now is the obstacle. It's not changing. It's not moving. And you're having thoughts and feelings about that about yourself. Is there something wrong with me? Is there something more I should be doing? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Can I fix it? Can I remove this obstacle? Because I just know it's why I'm not getting what I want. So we're being a bit bold here just so you hear it differently, because it's easy for you to get off the phone and say, see, it's the obstacle. That's why my life isn't working. Now, the obstacle has caught you, has hooked you, line and sinker, just as they say in the fishing world. As you understand it's caught you, what's familiar about it and your response to it? Why are you so intrigued in removing an obstacle that has nothing to do with what you want? Because you, as you say, no, well, once this is gone, will I have what I want? Will it be different? Well, it will be different, but not because that got resolved. It's different because you're in a different resonance. So when you put your attention, just take a moment, put your attention on what you want more of. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Don't get too caught up in what it looks like, though. Who do you get to be in the reality that you want? How much do you get to express yourself? How loving are you being? Are you a light for others? Are you having positive impact? Are you, in this case, is there an intimate component where you get to express more of who you are and it's safe to do that? And what does it feel like to know that you're safe and that you're loved and that you have a reality that you desired, you imagined, you expected, and you received it? In all of that, there is no obstacle. The obstacle isn't in that resonance. Cannot share space in your imagination. Now, can you flip back and forth between them and go crazy? Yeah. I want this, but I have this obstacle. I want this, but I have this obstacle. Yes, you can do that, but it's exhausting. Choose. Right now, obstacles winning. When are you going to be willing to have the desire for what you want to win your attention? Allow it to be meaningful, to create what you want. But if what you want is supposed to fix what's wrong, you handled it in the meditation. One of the things that comes up. So let that be different now. I don't have that obstacle anymore. I don't need to wake up and wonder, is the obstacle the problem? No, the focus of my attention is the key. What am I going to focus on? And when I focus on it, what are the new opportunities that show up? Because if you're still trying to fix what went wrong in the past, but that's already done. That's in the past. It's not who you are. Who you are is the you that can create something new today. So allow yourself that. Love yourself more. Really let in the love of your higher self. Let in the love of God Goddess. And you'll notice there is no obstacle in the desire, the imagination, the expectation of what I want. So as Helen was talking about parallel reality, is there a reality where I have an obstacle? Well, yeah, that's the one you're in right now. Do you have to stay there? No, you don't have to stay there. Is it where you exist right now? Yes, it's part of your state of being. I have obstacles. Is that the way I intend to go forward? No, I've been trying to say I don't want the obstacle. How do I get rid of it? So how you get rid of it is you stop focusing on it. It's not as real as you believe it to be. Your attention on it makes it the obstacle. So what do you have to do? You have to shift what do you want instead? Well, I want to feel good. I want to feel loved. I want to be happy. I want to be free to be me. I want people to communicate nicely with me. I want people to listen. I want to be heard. I want to have impact. So as you're thinking those thoughts, of course, what's going to bubble up is what doesn't serve you anymore. Well, when I was a little girl, nobody listened to me. There's pain there. There's suffering there. Okay, I need to go be with my inner child. And I need to love her. I need to help her heal. But not alone. I have a higher self who's an infinite being of light who is going to pick her up and be with her and love her unconditionally and give her what she needs, the attention, the love, the safety, the adoration, whatever she needs. And just feel the shift that happens. Then you'll be able to desire, imagine, expect something new. It can have the same qualities of what you were creating before, but you've changed, you've grown, you've become more. As you let yourself know that the new me is going to attract beings who are resonant matches for who I am. And so I can expand what I expected before. Does that help?
Oops. She got kicked out. She probably didn't hear much of what she said.
That's all right. It's on the recording. Just
Hello?
yes, the answers are there in the recording for you.
Beautiful Tara, before you go, last thing is with your beautiful source magic, you know what I'm asking in my mind. I don't want to step boundaries with the teachings that you have, knowing that I know who I am. I think I know who I am in the multi-universe. I am having a lot of activity, by the way. It's kind of really interesting. I just want to ask you that of all this, right? Like I feel like I actually feel comfortable, like soul level, and now I I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know if that's even going to be possible. Can you just give me a quick answer, beautiful Tara?
Listen to the recording. Do the process that we described.
Okay. I will. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
wonderful. You're right on track. We love you so.
Okay. I love you.
All right, and Francis is next.
Oh, there he goes.
Hello there. Hey, Tara. Hey, John.
Yes, dear
Hey,
one.
Francis.
Well, I have a little challenge, and that is I have to be out of this house in about 10, 12 days, and I really have no place to go, and most places are way too expensive for me. So I've got to figure out something here, and maybe you have some suggestions.
All right, so what are you dreaming? What is the priority? What are the qualities of this space that you want to move into next?
Got to be clean and quiet, and I'd like to have some people around, so I connect with people, and I guess I like it to be beautiful. I'd like it to be very attractive. So I'm kind of describing a 3,000 a month house.
Well, there
So
is that version of it in reality, as we were talking with Helen. All realities exist simultaneously, so it's really a matter of focusing on the one you want to be in. And some of the how do you know which one you're in is, well, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are the choices that you're making? So here you are, you have 10 or 12 days, however many, it's really just a number, isn't it? So
yes,
part
it
of
is.
you says, oh, I should have had something by now. And yet, how does reality really work? Well, it appears as though out of thin air, and then you step into it. So are you willing to allow some magic here? Are you
Well,
willing?
that's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Not just hoping. No, I intend it to be
Well,
that.
I'm focused on it.
That's why there's only 12 days instead of 32. So now we're
Yeah.
at 12 days now. Ooh, now I do need my magic. How exciting. The tension is building. Will I manifest it or won't I? So what's the challenge that you've given your higher self here? What's important about manifesting this on time? Or does it matter if it's on time? Can it be a little late?
It
Okay.
really can't because my landlord has guys coming in to redo the house. So I'd like to be out before, otherwise it'll be trouble for him,
Yeah. Yeah. So you've
So
made the
that's a
commitment.
challenge.
Yeah, you've made a commitment to be moved out before the construction begins. Did we hear that correctly?
Yeah, I have. Yes, I have some stuff of mine, a bedroom and stuff like that, bedroom set, and of course me, and I don't know where I'm going, So,
Okay, so
but
you've already clarified what you're leaving behind. So see that as your backdrop. So the past is
okay,
behind. I've moved out. Now what am I stepping into? So peace, beauty, quiet, companionship. Sounds pretty
yes,
good. And
Yes.
so as you turn that over to the universe, hey, this is what I need, or better, things I haven't thought of. And I only have 12 days, so get a move on in getting me some information here. So as you know from your past, when you're working your magic, it does just show up, doesn't it? You have a
It
preferred
can. It
you have
can.
a
Yes.
preferred way. Yeah, you have a preferred way that you like your magic to show up. So what if you turn it over to your higher self and say this or something better? Because I haven't done it in a while and I'm a little rusty. And
Well, I've said that. I've said that to my higher self. This or something better. Yeah,
wonderful.
for sure.
And so
Yeah.
what sort of activity is required of you to feel as though you are working your magic?
Well, there's certainly the feeling is the thoughts and the feelings are there to find something, and at the same time, I look on the internet for potential places and stuff like that.
And what do you
There
find?
was
What's the
a
feedback
person.
you're getting? What's the feedback?
I'm sorry,
So what kind
my
of
feedback.
what's the feedback from your illusion when you go on the internet and you look around? What do you see?
Well, there's very little to choose from. That's what my feedback is so far. And it's possible, however,
Can you broaden the
you
area?
know,
Does it
I guess I could. Yeah, I
does it
guess I
serve
could.
you to broaden?
I'm really, I've been looking in two areas, Sarasota and Bradenton so far. That's what I've been looking. I'm in Bradenton right now, and it's okay. It's not great at all, but I'm willing to take a look there. Sarasota is better, but I'm willing to look in several areas.
So that's one way to get more choice, to broaden the area that you're
By
looking.
broadening. Yes, correct.
Yes. So, and the other one of the other ways is to reduce your needs, but your your needs are your needs. You can't really reduce your needs so much. And you don't want to really compromise your preferences at this point. It's not as though you've hit your deadline and have to settle for something less. So as you really let in, okay, of the qualities, which ones will let you know when you find a place? So you're looking on the internet and you're scanning, well, your first filter is price. That makes sense.
Right.
But
Yes,
okay,
it
so
does.
once you meet your price, now what is your next filter? What are you looking for? Does it require
Neighborhood.
you to have your own place? Does it require you to have space? Does it require you to have a roommate? Does it require you to uh, to move beyond the area?
All the potentials, all of these potentials. I could do any of that stuff. I
Yeah,
could have a roommate. I could have, it doesn't matter really.
yeah, wonderful. So you're flexible, and that's a wonderful place to be. And then we still want you to
I
write
think so.
down somewhere or dictate into your phone or whatever, higher self. I want to create this reality or something better. And just speak it out or write it down. And just between you and your higher self, not to be shared with anybody else. You know how magic works. It's important sometimes to hold something close and just say, this is what I really, truly desire for my next step. This would be a mark of change and growth and expansion for me. And I'm ready. And then just
Yes, indeed.
away and then continue your searching the next day or within 12 or 24 hours and then just be open and say, wow, when I shared that with my higher self, I touched on what really matters to me. And that resonance is what's going to create your next step. That's where your magic is.
Yes.
In you defining and expressing what truly matters. And when you're asking your higher self, there are no limits, there are no boundaries. It's just you and your higher self creating a reality. And you know that magic is real. It has happened many times in your life. Not always the way you expect. And you're wanting it to be that way again. It's part of your priority. I want to be back to knowing I create my own reality. I lost a little bit of that with the medical challenges,
Yes.
but I'm back.
That,
And I'm more than I was. I'm more who I truly am. More loving, more willing, and I'm ready for my illusion to reflect that. Higher self, what do you think? And of course, we're holding that space as well for you.
thank you.
Yeah. There is magic that is happening. You have the equinox. Perfect timing, isn't it? The
It
equinox
sure is.
is assisting you, creating that foundation. It's a time to change. So those things that you were really not okay with, that were sort of, well, it's not really what I want. Take the opportunity to end those things. This isn't what I want. I know what I want. And then state it clearly, this or something better. I'm willing to have my optimal future self with my higher self and my soul, my spirit, work their magic because that's who I am. Does that help?
Sure does.
Yes, you're right on track.
It's a good reminder. Thank you, Tara. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Love you so.
And I just want to say this is such a treat on Monday nights. I never take you for granted. I am always grateful for you, Katrina and John, to be on, to be able to serve everyone. And I myself are very grateful. Have a great day, and I love you.
And we feel your love. Thank you. We thank you for it.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome.
Wonderful. All right, John, who is next?
Thanks, Francis. Jean-Francois.
Well, all right. Can you hear me?
Yes, dear one.
Oh, hey, Tara. Thank you. Thank you for the meditation today. I really felt I can feel the shift. I wanted to talk about it right after I got out because I was very moved, but after listening to everyone, I think I'm still good with my questions. Um, I want to talk about money, but before that, I want to share an experience that I'm hoping you can comment on and perhaps even clarify for me. On the way home, I stopped in Cornwall in the UK, and sorry, I was visiting a friend in Cornwall, and on the way back, we stopped in Glastonbury. And I had a fantastic visit. The whole time there is just magic and beautiful connection and beautiful people and beautiful environments and great food. And it was just a wonderful journey. And the moment we got into Glastonbury, it just all shifted, like suddenly as if the cloud had, the sky had gone cloudy or something. And I'd been there once before, about 20 or so years ago, and I remembered that same energy, but at the time I wasn't sensitive to it. I was just having too much fun. I didn't really connect it, but this time it was much more prevalent. And I remember describing to my friend what it felt like, and this is what I said. I said it'd be like if Glastonbury was a giant crystal that emitted a certain frequency, which created a resonance. And in this resonance, there's something inside of me that does not match, and it's just coming up. And it was strange because I found myself acting out, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And she noticed too, and I was like, I don't know, something's going on. And she could see, and the table behind us, we were sitting in a cafe, the conversation went really bizarre where they were kind of on the edge of being very harsh with each other. And I was like, something's up, and I don't know what. And I was trying to not look because I wanted to talk with you about it and hear what you'd say. But mostly I was like, it's a past life or maybe something about my limited self. But yesterday morning, it seemed to me that I may have killed myself in a lifetime there. Could you comment on this?
Well, you did not kill yourself, but you were killed. Absolutely, a past life, one in which you were made an example of
Ah,
in a horrible way. And so you have what we'll call a curse,
ah,
which can be lifted, of course.
great.
And even as we're speaking, it's being lifted. It's the you in that lifetime that made the curse, you see.
Oh,
So knowing what was happening, we'll say drawn and quartered or burned at the stake or some version of that. Let your imagination tell you what really happened without going into it too much, because we don't need you to re-experience the trauma. But the you in that lifetime needs to be saved, so to speak, on a soul level, because in the punishment, which was extreme, was severe, should never have occurred, the injustice that was done, you spoke a curse, and you were very powerful. Let's just say
hmm,
this was not some word. Your words have no power. No, your words had power. You created reality with words. You spoke realities into being, but you were betrayed. You were betrayed in your mind by God because your words didn't work anymore. They found a way to bind you with magic. So there's that tarot card where there's someone bound up in ropes, something like that.
hmm,
That it was, and so in the binding, in the loss of your magic, you cursed all of those who were involved,
hmm,
and mostly you cursed God. How could you let this happen to me? Why did you forsake me in my time of need? So, a tragic lifetime that needs to be healed, and your magic needs to be restored to you. So, there are many ways you can do it. You can go before the event and give her a secret that love prevails. If she is willing to love herself in the binding of the magic, she will never lose her magic.
hmm.
But in the fear, she forsake love. She let it go. She didn't remember it. Easy to do in fear. They don't exist in the same space. Or you can come with your higher self at the moment when she's ready to exit that lifetime. She's just at the moment of death when the soul comes for her. And you and your higher self will be witness as the soul comes to take her home and takes a moment to tell her the truth of who she is. For in her power, there was misuse. She wasn't all love and light. She was powerful and she knew it. And she harmed some people. And part of her punishment of herself, I don't deserve this power. I've harmed other people with it. Maybe I don't want it. She just had it as a thought. It wasn't even an intention. Maybe I don't want it. And then boom, it was taken away from her. She needs to be forgiven for not valuing the power she had and the responsibility that came with it. It's not uncommon for people who become so powerful in their field to not appreciate the level of responsibility that comes with it. And yet it's the responsibility that creates more power. She needs to be given the chance to make a different choice. Give her that opportunity. Explain to her about the responsibility that you've come to understand. That power without responsibility is tyranny. And that is not who she is. And rather than relinquishing the power, thinking she wasn't enough for it, or thinking she shouldn't have it, she just needed to be responsible, to respond to whatever had happened, to feel remorse, to forgive herself. And you can teach her that. Your higher self can take care of it in a few moments so that she's free and she doesn't curse anyone because she's free. Does that help?
Oh, oh, that helps a lot. I That's really intense. Thank you very much, Tara. I really appreciate that. That was
Yeah.
way more than I thought it was going to be.
Yes. And
Thank
as you
you.
say,
Yeah,
I went there 20 years ago and
yeah.
I knew something wasn't right.
hmm
And this time I was more conscious. I was ready.
hmm
And now I'm ready to bring her home.
I'm excited about that. Thank you very much, Tara.
Yes, it is very exciting.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
all
it,
right. Yeah,
it was Glastonbury.
yeah.
As you tap in to her power, her true power, the beauty of it, the love that is at the source of it, that she forsake unwittingly. It was a mistake. It was a moment of arrogance. In that is the goddess's love. As you connect with that love, you already have it within you, but you will have recovered more of it.
hmm
You will be more because of what you heal in her. Beautiful.
Oh, that's really fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward. I Am I okay to continue with another question?
Yes.
All right. So a few weeks ago, you'd suggested to me to make not just money, but the energy of money, if I'm remembering correctly, my ally.
Yes.
And so that has led to some very interesting meditative moments in my recent past. And one of them is there's been this kind of separation of, I'm not sure how to put it, of my interaction with money. Because I love spending money. I enjoy it thoroughly. And it's not even so much on myself. I like spending money on other people or in situations. I like giving money. I like having moments like there's a magic that seems to occur, and it just feels like it just gets I get to nail it so frequently when I'm in a place where I can give money. And then I can imagine what I would like to do with money also very well, very clear, with loads of energy, enthusiasm, and my desire, my expectations in place. I can see myself. I feel like this is just a few days away. I can really bring myself very close to this is imminent. And it doesn't happen. And so in this kind of segregation, I noticed that it comes down to making money. And even just saying those two words makes me uncomfortable and angry. And it's just the moment I don't want, and I found all these judgments about people who want to make money and what's why, how they're skipping out on quality or impact or morals or it's just it's got to make money fast, that's what matters, make a lot of it, doesn't care who you take it from. And I have all of this kind of going on and I'm angry about it, and I think it's been frozen. And I think because the three ways money come into my life is uh well, you get a job, and then you get the best job that you can with the best paying money that works, you feel like you can be there, and that's how it works. And that's kind of my muggle approach to money. And then the other is something happens and then you get money from insurance. And that's happened to me also, vehicles, my own body, stuff like that's happened, and I got some money. And then the third one is gifts, where I have families and friends are like, hey, I want to give you this. And it's sometimes it's happened unsolicited, 100%, just out of the blue, in large amounts, and it's been also wonderful. And so I've been kind of identifying these areas and the way that money comes in, and the one that I have not, how to say this. You mentioned once, we create our own realities, but where do you believe that in all areas of your reality? And when it comes down to making money, I don't. It's a mechanical operation. That's what it has been. Now that I've realized that it's already shifting. And since you mentioned being an ally with the energy of money, it's very playful energy for me. Like money comes into me, it's just full of delight, full of fun. It's just like great things are going to happen, and I can feel the flow wanting to happen, but I am stuck at the making money part where I feel like smashing something. Can you comment on that?
So certainly so. The making money in the old paradigm is very limited. And so there is an anger around it. I don't want to be limited in that way. I don't want to be stuck in the chauvinism of it. I want to be creative. I want to be expressed. I want to be fully self expressed. I want to have a voice. So when you choose to create money in your vocation, it's a little different than just going to get a job and having a career. It's important to have a career when it's in line with what you love and you want to learn more about and you want to build skills. Nothing wrong with that being where you make your money. Many of you have made money and have retired and now are grateful for the abundance that it brought you. And now you're facing similar thing as Jean-Francois is facing, which is, well, now how do I let money in? I know there's an abundance. I know it's an escrow, as Abraham likes to say, that it's an escrow for me if I just let it in, if I get out of my own way. But the truth of the matter is, money serves a function. So as you let in, okay, what future am I dreaming that will require more money to flow through me? Wait a minute, I want to make money. I want to hold money. I want to keep money.
Hmm.
But we're talking about spending money, aren't we?
Hmm.
And you're good at spending. You love to spend. You love to be gracious with it. And you actually are pretty good at receiving it.
Hmm.
So when you start looking at the chauvinism, when you free up the chauvinism, what you realize is I've been kind of saying without knowing it, I've been tapping into the consensus belief that I'm better than if I make money.
Hmm.
I'm better than people who don't. I'm
Hmm.
better at making money. And therefore, I'm better than them. It's not true, and you know it's not. Even as we say the words, you sort of cringe and go, no, I don't want to go there. That's not really me.
Hmm.
But the chauvinism, that's the model. You earn the money so that you can hold it over other people and so you can control them, so that you can control circumstances, so that you can control environment. But what if you didn't come from that model? What if you made the money not for that reason, but to be more fully self-expressed? That money is a way, is an avenue for me to have more freedom in my self-expression. So I want to make money, but I don't want to make it just anyway. And I certainly don't need the future of being able to lord it over somebody.
Hmm.
That word was very specific,
Hmm.
where I
Okay.
get to be nobility.
Hmm.
I get to be in charge. I get to hold it over others who held it over me in other lifetimes. So you see, you're not just dealing with this lifetime,
I
but there are
got
many
that.
lifetimes. Sometimes you did abuse the power as you learn from that incident. But as you restore your power and you really let in, no, I'm magical and I can create money coming to me because it's just energy. Do I care what form the energy takes? Well, I kind of do. I kind of want it to be money. I want it to be currency.
Hmm.
Useful to me. It doesn't have to be cash. It can be other forms of currency, but they have to be useful to me right now.
Hmm.
And your world is exploring currency right now. Gold, silver, crypto, stablecoin, traditional banking, digital money, cash money, coinage, the whole gamut. The world right now is evaluating currency. Do we need it? Do we want it? What can we do with it? How flexible do we need with it? And what you're finding is the currency that is most flexible is going to serve the most people on the globe and has a structure for fulfillment, meaning it can be implemented anywhere. That's going to be the new world. That's going to be the new currency. Maybe the new world won't have currency. Maybe it will. But if it did, it would need to have one that's flexible, that's productive, that's for the world, for everyone to have access to. So as you start thinking in those terms, okay, here I am, focused on making money. And I don't want to make it the way I used to, where I exchange time for dollars.
Hmm.
But we want you to sit with your higher self for a moment and say, okay, so what is it that you have to bring? What is of your grace? What is of your soul? You don't need to share it if you don't, but we do know that you are a healer and you have spoken of that. So we'll use that as an example.
Okay.
When you say, I don't want to have to make money, are you disavowing being a healer?
Hmm. No,
Or are you saying, I'll do healing work, but I won't ask for money?
no, no. I feel pretty clear in that area.
Oh.
I
So,
this. Go
so
ahead.
is there any need to activate the old chauvinistic template?
No, no, not there. Not
Yes.
no,
Yeah, it's not really there, is it?
no, not at all.
Yeah. So as you let in, well, actually, I know what the difference is.
I see.
I know the difference, and I'm not going to buy into it. I know what the difference is. So any old stuff,
Yeah.
I don't need it anymore.
Ah.
I can take this equinox opportunity and just end,
Yeah.
and I can value and I can allow money to express what I have to give and value for what I have to give. I can allow people to shower me. So there's that image of is it Yogi Nanda or whoever, some famous yogi who each of you have read about, but we cannot think of the name at the moment. Maybe John knows. He was showered with Rolls Royces.
Rajneesh.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rolls Royces. How many
Yeah.
does one person actually need? Well, only one at a time.
Oh my goodness.
So as you ask for abundance, everybody loves money because money can be transformed into and converted into many, many forms,
Hmm.
much more practical than a Rolls Royce. So you can be sure that Rajneesh was imagining Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
And so he attracted many. And he got to the point where he was like, okay, another Rolls Royce. How wonderful, how beautiful. That's what
Hmm.
I imagined. That's what I'm getting. What you imagine is what you get more of. So as you imagine, how do I want this to go? I think I will imagine playing the lottery and I'm saying I want hundreds of millions or billions or whatever the amount is. What if I
Hmm.
just allow that same energy of the freedom it will give me to be a part of my daily programming? I am more free to be. I have choices. I have choices I never thought I would have when I was growing up. I'm creating more freedoms, more choice. And every time I'm willing to dream the dream where abundance comes to me with harm to none,
Hmm.
it comes in many forms. I'm not going to limit it to a Rolls Royce. I'm not going to limit it to money. I want money and I want abundance of friendships, of communication, of intimacy, of love, of family, of all the things I treasure. So you understand, you're at that point where I've been putting so much energy into money that I'm really, really clear of how I don't want to make it.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll open up to new ways of how I do want to make it with elegance and ease
Hmm.
and see what shows up. Does that help?
This helps a lot. Thank you so much, Tara. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You
Yes,
always nail it. Thank you.
it's a wonderful topic. We don't have more answers than that for you at this time.
No, no.
But as you do the steps, as you
Yeah.
experiment, you explore, you will
Hmm.
be amazed at what you manifest.
I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. We love you so.
Thank you, Tara.
All right,
Mm.
John, who is next?
Henry.
All right, Henry.
Hello, Clara. Wonderful to be with you again.
Yes, of course. Likewise.
Thank you. Um, it's interesting talking about Glastonbury that I always felt a very heavy energy there myself, actually. Um,
Yes, you might have had a similar lifetime.
maybe
Yeah.
something like that.
You can ask your higher self to lift
Yes,
that.
yes. Um, so the martyr thing is really, um, um, I've been letting myself be sunk in it and not doing what I need to do. And
Oh, so what does that look like? You get to be a martyr. Is it martyr or self-pity? If you were to know which one.
I think it's martyr. Well, once we started talking about martyr, that kind of delineated this, um, that
So what
I,
are you
I
refusing
decided,
as far as metaphysics? What are you
yeah,
refusing to do metaphysically?
I didn't quite hear that. What am I refusing?
So you're refusing to do things. So it's easy to say I'm not doing what I need to do, and it just sounds sort of bland and
Yes,
can't really fault Henry. Poor Henry. He just doesn't feel like doing it, so he shouldn't do it. But we want to talk about your metaphysics because martyr doesn't distinguish. When you're in martyr, it's a resonance. It impacts all areas.
yeah,
So what happens to your magic? What happens to your metaphysics when you indulge? And we're going to call it an indulgence because you know better. You actually
yeah,
have steps to get out of it. You just say, don't do that, Henry.
yes,
And then you go and have a wonderful day. But when you indulge in it, it's sort of a wonderful self-perpetuating resonance.
yeah.
Once you're in it, you're sort of in it. How did I get in here? Can't get out. But what happens to your magic? What's the cost? Are you creating magic anyway? You might be.
I don't think I
Martyrs
will.
do make it rain.
Yes, that's true. I mean, one thing that happened was, one thing that happened last night was, so I go and do a meditation at the beach and in the evening, and it tends to be a bit by rote, and I'm feeling I want to give up, and I'm talking to my higher self, and anyway, so there's a fun fair in town, as I mentioned, and um, I said, well, Tara said go and have fun, and I want to go on that big juicy ride, and but I'm not going to do that and all that sort of thing, and I don't kind of deserve it, and which is I know, and anyway, I walked back and there's the dance event outside the pub on a Sunday night that I talked about before, and that always cheers me up. So I thought, well, I'll dance and maybe I can get out of this. And what happened was that a friend came along with a couple of other friends, and we had some good conversations. One of them was from the UK, and they bought me a drink, and I was having a good time. And then they said, "Let's go and do the fun fair," and I got to be treated to go on the big juicy ride, which
Oh,
I wasn't going to treat myself to,
not
and
just because you chose to dance.
because I chose to dance, also,
You chose to dance. I think I'll go dance. That might shift my energy.
right,
Well, it
and
wasn't cause and effect. It was first the image of, wow, I really love to ride that fun ride. It's been a long time. Have good memories about it. You mentioned your son earlier.
yeah.
How magical.
It was, yes, and I just felt all that absolute wonderful experience of letting go and everything just letting go,
Yeah,
and things fell out of my pockets and all that sort of thing, and that was
wonderful.
again letting go, and then I went back, and then when I got into the house, um, I had this wonderful feeling of just this wonderful positive feeling which I haven't felt. I don't feel I felt for a long time, and just feeling really just marvelous, and just I just thought I just need to be with this wonderful positive outlook, and that everything's going to be all right, and all those sort of things, and
Beautiful.
and then I fell asleep, and then wrestling
Then you have to do
wrestling
it again. Then you have to choose to dance.
I have to choose again, yes, and
Choose to
it's yeah,
dance. For you, that's the magic. That's the message. I don't want to be in this resonance. I'm going to go dance. I'm going to go see if I can dance. I'm going to go explore. I'm going to go do something different. Now, certainly there are things to do. Many of you uh, are saying he can't keep doing this forever. Eventually he has to do what he has to do. Well, maybe, or he's going to create someone else, maybe doing it for him or helping him or creating some other version of reality that you didn't expect. The consensus reality says, you, Henry, stop having fun. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And here we are saying, have fun. Focus on the fun. Get your resonance up so that you can create more magic, so that you can create miracles, so that you can receive what there is to receive from your higher self.
Yes,
Yeah.
I felt it was.
And so you still have this tax bill or whatever it is, but now in this higher resonance, ask your higher self, what do we want to create here? Let's dream a new dream. Instead of this being a nightmare, let's dream it to be something uplifting, some miracle, something unexpected, something important that's unexpected. Yeah, but it's a tax bill. Yeah, it's a tax bill. Isn't that interesting? You think you know what that means. What if you didn't know? What if you turned it over to your higher self to reinterpret, to give you new ideas, new clues, new understanding of what it means that you created the reality where you got that as your result? Sort of like Monica's complaining about the obstacle. Well, with all her attention on obstacle, 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 that's all that exists. So your version is tax bill or whatever it is, rent due, whatever, work that isn't finished. Each of you have your incompletions. And the more quickly you decide, you know what? I choose to have this problem. What? I don't choose it. Actually, on some level, unbeknownst to you, you allowed it, therefore you unconsciously chose it.
No, I
I
understand that.
chose to have this experience to trigger something in me,
Hmm.
to trigger something that for me to be aware of so that I can grow, so I can change, so that I can be more free, I can be more self-expressed. Wow, I didn't even know I had anger until I got that. I didn't know I was angry at God or my higher self, and I really wasn't. But when this showed up, wow, did I tap into some anger? Bravo. Your higher self said that anger can't come with you into the next resonance. You're always going to have the ability to feel anger. That's important. But this old anger at your higher self that's been stewing because you're not getting what you want, that's called blame. That's called blame. Martyr. That's actually not anger. Blame is a form of martyrhood. I think I'll just punish my higher self.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Well, your higher self's not going to smite you or take you down or anything. Not going to create nightmares for you. No, you're going to do that yourself.
Yes.
You choose that. But when you express the anger and you say, you know what? I'm angry that this is still here. I'm angry that it's been weeks and I still haven't addressed it and done anything about it. And higher self, I'm mad. I'm mad that you didn't warn me and you didn't prepare me and you didn't give me the right information. And you just vent all that stuff out. And at the end of it, your higher self says, how do you feel now? And you're going to say, I feel better. Because on some level, you might have thought your higher self would go away if you yelled at it. If you yelled at your higher self, are they going to go away or are they going to be there? See, until you actually have the argument, you don't know. But when you're willing to have the argument, and then your higher self is still there, now you can go deeper. Now you can have intimacy and caring and trust. Oh my gosh, you're still here. I was afraid you were going to go. So you're starting to bust some of these beliefs that are stuck in there from that came from religion a lot of times, or came from your parents, where you're not supposed to be this way, or you can't think of God that way, or you're not allowed to be angry at God. God can be angry at you and punish you, but you're not allowed to be angry. You're supposed to be ashamed. But you healed so much of that that you don't have the issue in religion. But when it comes to intimacy with your higher self, which is required for co-creating,
Yeah.
honesty is the first step.
Hmm.
So as you express it, not with the intention of holding on to it, but you know what? I got to get this off my chest because you know what? I'm pissed off. And I'm so pissed off that I'm doing everything I can not to create what I want because I'm pissed off at you. And I've got to stop this, but it's going to start by sharing honestly what I think and feel. Because when you do that, you're not in your child and you're not in your adolescent.
Hmm.
And you're connected to your body and you're venting old stuff, getting it out of your body. Not for a long period. We're not talking about days and weeks and months. We're talking about 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here max. You actually have a hard time sustaining anger for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is plenty. Set the clock and say, okay, no more than 5 minutes. When the timer goes off, I'm going to drop it. But while I'm in it, I'm going to vent, and I'm going to tell my higher self everything that I ever thought about my higher self, about what a slacker. Why aren't you helping me more? Why aren't you fixing my life? Why aren't you doing this or that? So that you can actually break through that level of parental projection, which is what it is. Your higher self will still be there at the end of it. Okay, let's go create something new. Now that the real Henry has shown up. Because what happens in time when there's stuff that's unexpressed, and this goes for love too. You're in a partnership, if you're in a loving relationship with somebody, and you're not in the practice of being loving, sharing your innermost thoughts, sharing your emotions, sharing the impact they're having on you so that you can change things around, sharing your dreams and your visions. If you're not doing that regularly, it becomes a relationship by rote. And it doesn't take long before you separate and go different ways. Because there is no intimacy to bind the love. There isn't enough intimacy and caring that the other person feels seen and heard, which is a form of being loved. And as you recognize, oh, I don't feel seen and heard, and I'm afraid to ask for it because it's just gone on too long. What's the point? But there is a point. And the point is, what do you want? What do you want to create instead? And as you wake up into that is what is required, the choice. I want this but what if they say no? Well, they might say no, but what if you say yes? And as you say yes, 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 you're going to get feedback that tells you where are you really at about having a relationship. So you can see we've moved from martyrhood into having an intimate relationship. Wow, how'd that happen? Because that's what you'd rather focus on, and you should. That is important. To create a loving relationship so that you have a place to give your love is important. And yes, you can also do it through the arts. You can do it through the work that you do there. And maybe that's where you begin, or that's where you continue, more to the point. Because in that, you create more exposure, more opportunities to meet people, but all the while, you have this desire to be loved and to be loving. And that's important. And your higher self's listening. Okay, Henry, when are you going to put down the martyrhood? When are you ready? We're waiting for that little crack, that little crevice in the opportunity. We know what you want. Are you willing to let us deliver it? It would be like
That's what came up in meditation today.
wonderful, beautiful.
And about the anger, I'm finding it difficult to feel angry, but there's so many other things. I mean, there's the two tax issues, and there's a whole other things that I just haven't been doing, and I just feel
But you don't
angry.
have any energy for it if you're busy capping your emotions.
Well, but there's so much I can't be bothered. I mean, I guess that's the martyrhood, isn't it?
Yeah, well, martyrs make it rain, so you just keep creating new things to be worried about, new things to burden yourself with, new things, new things, new things. Oh my God, when is it going to end? Well, it ends when you change. Well, how do I change? Ask for help. Higher self, help me be fully present today. Help me not blame. Help me not check out mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, energetically checking out. Dissociating is so fun. I think I'll just exit the building. And when it looks safe, I'll come back in. But who's Henry? Which Henry's doing your life if you've left the building, so to speak, metaphorically? Dissociate. So as you understand, oh my gosh, I just dissociate. I don't remember huge amounts of time, perhaps. We're just using this as a random example. Or you might be sitting reading something, fully interested in it, and then like a half hour later, you wake up. Where'd I go? I couldn't take anymore. I just dissociated. So that's the conversation you want to have with your higher self. Higher self, I'm checking out. I don't understand. I need help dealing with whatever this is, this burden, this heaviness, this weight. I'm embarrassed to even talk about it. And we're not saying this is actually happening, Henry, but we're talking around it so that you have choice about it. And there are those who are listening who do this, who need to be reminded. When they're checking out, their body is just going on automatic, getting depleted because it's not being energized by your life force. Wonder why you're tired. Well, I checked out for a while today. I didn't stay grounded. I didn't stay connected. I didn't stay interested. I didn't choose what I want next. So, Henry, for you, okay, the problems are still there. I don't really want to deal with them. I'm clear about that. I'm not enough is what we hear. And that is actually a possibility. I don't have enough information. I don't have the skill and ability. I don't have training as a CPA or a tax person. I don't have training as with international finance. So what that tells you, I better go ask for help from somebody who does, or from many people who do. Don't limit yourself to one person. Maybe one person only knows a little bit of that topic, and then you need another one to cover the next one, and so on and so on. So you have a team of experts in your community who know people, who know other people, who know others, until you meet the ones that are your team to help you deal with this. And as you let in, it's okay to not be enough. The shame says, if it's still there, which we don't believe it is, but if it is still there, you ask your higher self to lift the shame that keeps you from asking for help. Here I am. I'm a victim of a system that I should have known about. But I don't. I didn't. Whatever. Time has passed. It's not who I am. I'm in the arts. I'm not a financial person. I could have done that, but I didn't. So rather than shaming yourself for not having studied finance and being an expert in international finance, why not go and ask somebody? I'm going to be upfront. I need pro bono. What can you offer me? I need help. This is my situation. These are the complexities I'm dealing with. Do you know of anybody who does pro bono work
What's pro bono?
for free?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They do it out of the goodness of their heart as a public service. Are you willing to receive? Is what it comes down to. Am I really willing to receive? And of course, we hear your higher self and your soul saying, yes, Henry's ready. He's willing. Choose it. Yes, I'm willing. And let the miracles roll in. It's not as though you live in some tiny little town in the middle of the countryside where there's no neighbor for miles, no industry that you can speak of, no professionals of any kind. No, you live in Los Angeles. You suppose there might be a few people who know international finance, possibly even headquarters there. So as you really let it in, oh my gosh, I've been completely in my own little world pretending that I live on an island. But I have resources more than I can dream up are right outside my door. I think I might ask some questions. I might go to that senior center, that community center, wherever it is that you go frequently, and just ask around. Hey, I got this tax. You don't have to give them details. I have an international tax issue. Do you know of anybody who might be willing to help me on it? Can you imagine how many retired financial experts there are who are just itching to show the world their prowess in the financial realm, but they don't have work anymore? And so nobody asks them. As soon as they retired or lost their job or left their job, nobody asks them anymore. So there is abundance of knowledge available to you. And all you need to do is be willing to receive one or two or three or four or five. Higher self, bring them to me. Help me say the right words to the right people that create the magic. So as you begin to hear this, what's coming up? Do you see a possibility, or is it, have you already done this and tried it and it's a no-go? What do you notice? What's going on inside?
No, I haven't really tried that. And what's going on inside is, then there's this other problem, and then there's this other problem, and then there's this other thing that I haven't.
Oh, yes, they're endless, because in martyrhood, they are endless.
Yes.
There is no limit to what you can create. That's a problem.
Right.
So as you recognize, oh, but I stopped being a martyr yesterday when I chose to dance. So I've now stopped the problems at wherever they are right now. And in fact, I'm turning it over to the universe to help me solve these magically, miraculously, in ways that I cannot yet imagine, but I'm willing to. Because I'm not in that resonance anymore. I'm not perpetuating it anymore. It ended with me. I'm stopping the pattern. So as you really let that in, it's different now. What do I want to look for? Do I want to continue to look at all the problems and the pile of problems, the obstacle that Monica's dealing with? Or do I want to choose to have a different dialogue with my higher self? All right. Wonderful. We love you so. We know there's one more. So
Thank
we're
you
going
so
to
much.
go for now for you with love and peace. Know that there's
Okay.
magic in the telling.
Yeah.
There's magic between the words.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. We love you so. And so, Melissa, we believe is next. Is she still here?
Yeah, she's here.
Hi, Tara.
Yeah. Dear one, tell us, where do we begin?
Um, yeah, so I think it was 2 weeks ago we spoke. You mentioned how I had, I hope I'm working through it, an imbalance in receiving, a lot of giving. And I was just curious on what I can do to work with that.
All right. So what have you noticed since we spoke the words, and what came up for you? What are you noticing?
Like even right now, it was hard for me to listen today. I was having a lot of resistance and feeling burnt out.
Beautiful.
I give a lot in my work, and I feel like I'm not receiving what think I should be receiving. And so I did hear things that made a difference. Yes, I was present, and yet I was not present. I felt like when you mentioned Katrina about being her honesty and how she got nervous. So these two partners on my deal, I'm having resentment because I feel like they're up and down, and I'm very clear of the outcome, and it's affecting, for me, so many parts of my life because I'm ready to get it closed and move forward, and I have options. And every time, whatever they say things, but it never really happens. And so I'm just starting to just not believe anything they say. And I'm finding myself trapped and scared to speak up. Like I'm just gonna.
So let's do some analysis here, because with any business dealing, communication is the key. And when the communication begins to be sort of wishy-washy or not clear or whatever, then it does destabilize the future that's possible.
Yeah.
So in this deal, we want you to, and not share it necessarily here, but within your own work that you do, what can you set out that is measurable? So there's the end of the deal, the conclusion. Everybody's
Yeah.
celebrating, it's signed, everything. You know that that's the end of the deal, that it's been successful. But before that, what are some of the people who need to be involved and the tasks that they're going to do? And you probably already know this inside out. But just as you write it down and you say, okay, this first one, you work your way from the end to the begin to now. Some of it's already been done. You check the boxes, and that's what had you be motivated. That had you be positive about the outcome. But now
Yeah.
getting pushback. Now you're creating that on some level. So then the uncertainty comes from, well, it reminds me of this time or that time, and so you bring then more uncertainty to it than might even be warranted. Now, it may be completely true that they're not going to do the deal, but there are certain mile markers that you can set out. Okay, if they do this, then that logically leads to the next step. And when that next step happens, well, then we know we get to proceed to the next one, and so on and so on. They're like maybe 4, 5, 6 of these steps.
Yes.
So between the beginning and the end, where are you at in the deal?
Well, we're at the end. We have a cash buyer, but I have another person interested. I have somebody in my life that if I asked for the money, I could get it and close it and develop it with her. And the people in my life who want to support me in that feel that because I brought the deal to the table, I negotiated it with the seller. It's my lead. And I also brought one of the buyers. My two partners brought a buyer, but we were supposed to go in contract last week. We still haven't got a contract. They were supposed to talk today. They didn't talk today. And I feel like I'm holding myself back from them when I know what I could do right now, which would benefit me and the seller, you know? And I'm so scared about, I think, pissing people off, which is probably why the last thing happened with my partner.
So how transparent have you been with the first cash buyer who's ready to do the deal? And now that it's complicated because you could develop it yourself, which is a conflict of interest, by the way, with these other two people.
Well, no, I won't do that. I'm keeping my word with their buyer, you know. But they're not, you know, they're just not being. There's always these setbacks. So I'm like, what's going on? Like,
So are there two cash buyers or one?
there's one cash buyer, a potential offer with a national, well, an LOI with a national builder, and then I have a third person who has a guy's money she manages that's willing to buy the deal and help me take it further down the road. There's different stages of development you can do. But
So you've already given yourself three different roles.
yes, I have multiple options and I want to choose the most elegant one. And I thought the first one was the most elegant. It's becoming not so elegant. And I haven't talked to their buyer. So, you know, they're my partner. So I'm trusting that they're being honest with me. But I'm like, okay, I'm the type of person, if I say I have a buyer and we're ready to close, we're ready to close. I don't do that. When I say it, we're doing it, you know? So it's hard for me to deal with people who are wishy-washy and I'm at the impact of that. And I don't know I'm having a hard time communicating it. I think it's affecting my magic on the deal because now I'm getting frustrated.
So it's not affecting your magic, but it's affecting your honesty.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So because that's what you brought up. Oh, the honesty bit. Ooh.
Yeah, and honestly, I overshared. Like, it was supposed to be split 50-50, and now it's getting split three ways. And I'm like, well, how did that happen? And I'm not speaking up. And this is where I give. And really, like, and so the people in my life that know me are like, Melissa, why are you doing all this? And when my partners say they're going to get their pro forma done or get this done, it doesn't get done. Operating agreement still not done. It's been months. And I'm like, you know, I'm trying to have them do that because I don't want to keep taking on more responsibility. But whatever's going on with me in partnerships, I need to deal with it because I want to keep working with partners. I like working with people, but somehow I'm always the one doing majority of the work. That's how it occurs to me.
So since you're doing the majority of the work, which of the scenarios that you have created, the opportunities, assuming they're all still really on board with this, which one's the most elegant for you? Financially, time-wise, effort-wise, future-oriented?
I would prefer their cash buyer because it'd be done in 4 months. I can maintain the relationship with both of them, the two partners, and I know how to handle things in the future. So for me, I wanted to honor that because I know that there can be other deals that can be done, you know, and I don't like to burn bridges. So I try to.
So, but just to play devil's advocate here, but they haven't done what they need to do, and it's been months.
You're right. I probably could have been out of this a few months ago with another person I've worked with who we did a deal together. I raised $1 million for this guy in 4 days. 4 days with this girl, because that's how we are. We know there's a need, let's go, And she's the one who's got this guy who just sold a steel company for millions of dollars, and he wants to invest in real estate. And I know I'm this close to turn that to get that money. I feel it, and I'm like, am I being a pleaser by going with the person?
So why is that relationship less important than these partners?
Well, they're all important. So I'm trying to figure out how I can keep everyone happy, I guess.
They're not all equally important. Which one's the most important? Which one has the future, the most optimal future with elegance and ease?
Well, as you say that, I feel like it would be with Vicky, the one who could raise the money, because if we could make this gentleman money on his money and then have developing this project on my resume, opportunity for myself and her and anybody else that's on my team is huge.
So when you say all of that, what do you feel?
That's the route I want to go, but I guess I'm very scared to upset them,
What would be the consequence of upsetting them by being honest?
I guess they might not want to talk with me or work with me anymore.
Is that actually really a risk? If you're honest.
No, honestly, all the deals I've done with them have never panned out. It's always been hard and not worked out. And the one deal that's panning out is the deal I brought to the table.
So why would you want to continue that pattern? It is something to look at. Okay, wait a minute. I'm bending over backwards for these people, and they've actually never worked out the way that I expected or with elegance or ease. It's always me doing all the work. I'm pushing. So we're just reflecting back to you the energy that you're showing us around. So what is so important? And there is something important, or we wouldn't be asking the question about placating them.
I think they have a partner that's an attorney. So I guess I was just scared, legally what they could do, I don't know.
Do you have a contract with them, and is it really
No,
inappropriate?
it's all been, it's really just all in my name, but they want to do an operating agreement now. But really they haven't held up to their end of it's like the same thing with my old partner. They're not doing what they say they're going to do.
So if you go to them and say, look, I've got another interested party who I'm going to sign with, what happens legally? Are you free to do that?
I really probably could, yes.
Well, it's black and white. You're either under contract with them or you're not.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay, then you're free to do it. So you just go and be honest. Hey, listen, didn't think it would take this long. I've been asking for the stuff. It didn't show up. In the meantime, this person came and has the money. I'm going to go with her or them or whoever. So as you play that out, where's the risk? Why would you having integrity, being honest, being capable of raising money beyond what they could do in the time that they were given, how would that reflect badly on you?
Well, I brought them in as partners because I thought they were the ones that were going to bring the money to the table and they had experience.
Let's look at that language.
Huh?
Let's look at that language. Is that a contract?
No, it was all verbal.
I brought them in as partners. Do you have
We don't. No, we don't. And because I give my word,
don't use that language.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
We're not giving legal advice. We're saying watch your words. Because you can build rapport by saying, oh, we're partnering. That's a legal construct. So you want to be very aware of what you're promising, when you're promising it, and are you making a legal agreement just in words? So part of you has a red flag. Well, I'm partnering with these guys, I should stick to it. Are you? Do you have a contract? If not, you shouldn't be using those words to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Sense. Unless
Yeah.
you have a partnership agreement. Doesn't have to be on paper, you understand.
Yes.
So as you clean that up, well, what is my real intention? If I look at, I actually have some resentment at the time it's taken. They had this golden opportunity and they are dragging their feet and I'm looking bad. This is putting your reputation at risk. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
That's the anxiety.
Yes. No, because I care. I gave when that's, I guess.
You have a seller who's counting on you to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes, we have it under contract to we close when we get our wastewater agreement. So we're still waiting for some things, but I do want to get the buyer in place so when that time's ready, it's done. There's no more delays. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's sort of step back a minute and see yourself having a conversation with these people, the partners, quote unquote. And you're just telling them how it is. I need to line up a buyer. I've lined one up. Thank you for your interest. It's not going to work out. I've changed what I've decided to do with this because I want to show up for the seller and I have a buyer. So thank you for your interest. We're done. I'll let you know when the next one comes up. Would you be interested in talking? You don't have to say that last part, but you can. Now, are they going to think badly of you or are they going to respect you more for getting the deal done?
Yeah, I think they might have an opinion about it, but they'll respect me more for it.
Exactly. And are they willing to do business with somebody who knows when to close a deal?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the story about, oh, I shouldn't be honest with them. I don't want to let them down. I don't want to disappoint them. Is that actually true?
No,
Or
they're not performing.
is that just a way of avoiding domination?
Yeah.
So as you put that in, oh, that method of communicating, it looks okay on the surface, but it's not authentic. And it slows my progress down and it puts my success and my reputation at risk. And I have an opportunity to build a reputation that I desire. As someone who knows how to get things done, because I do, knows when to call the shots, which I do, but I don't do it very often because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And I know how to be successful. And I have things to teach people. And these people are probably people who need to learn from me, not me from them. I need somebody as a partner who can match me, not be me, but bring something I don't have, but who has the same willingness, the same level of commitment, the same level of progress. And it sounds like you found somebody like that.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you choose that person?
because I gave my word to them, but the thing is, they're not honoring their promise. So this is where I get tripped up. I need to basically say, you're not performing. This is no longer working. This is not what we agreed to. This is not what I thought.
Was there a point that you could have said it earlier that you
I
could have put in place? If nothing happens in 2 weeks or in 1 month, then I have to look for other people.
Yeah, I said it, but I probably wasn't. Looking back, I could have been more firm.
If they didn't hear it, it's not on you. But if you said it, okay, you probably don't remember, but I did say that if at a certain point I have to look for other cash sources.
Hmm.
So as you let in, what did I say? Was I as clear as I could have been? I'm learning from this for the future.
Yes.
But do I need to cut my losses because time is of the essence now? The closer you get to getting your final thing checked.
Yeah, we're right.
Does that make sense?
No, it really does. Thank you. And that's where the giving came. I'm like, wow, this is what I do. I overgive, I overcompensate, and then I'm tired.
Yeah, because you want it to work, you want it to work, you want it to work. But if you're there all by yourself, was that really the intention?
No, I brought them in because I thought they were more experienced than me. So I was smart enough to realize I'm going to have cut my learning curve. And it turns out that I was the one basically who got pretty much everything complete for the project.
Yeah. So as you give yourself permission to attract someone who's more like you, instead of somebody where you're going to carry them. Now there's a payoff when you get people who adore you because you're so good at everything and, oh, we just love you. You're so great at everything. Can you do this for me? It gets old, doesn't it?
I'm tired. I'm done.
Because you're going to get the adoration, but you're going to get it with respect from someone who matches you. Someone who brings their own skill set. You bring your skill set together. That's what partnership really is. You don't need to have the partner. You want to have the partner because you can get more done more quickly, more successfully, and you can grow. But if you're doing all the work, you don't really have a partnership.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a mentor to people, then set up a mentorship and have them pay you lots of dollars. You can do that. Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
And so certainly, yes, you created the reality, you allowed it, absolutely stuff in there why you want to please people, why you don't be more authentic, more honest up front, and what's the balance between being kind and loving and being authentic. And where is it written that authenticity is being a jerk?
Yeah.
It's not. The first is being honest with yourself. What do I need? What do I want to create? Is this matching my vision? Is this a resonant match? And then being honest, saying, you know what? It's not a match. I thought it would be, but I'm finding as the months have passed by, it's just not. I need somebody who works at my pace. And they will grow from that. Oh my God, you mean we need to be quicker? We need to be faster? We need to actually know what we're doing? Yeah, you did. I thought that was who you were. Talk is cheap. Go learn some things and we'll do some deals later on. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes.
Yeah, because you're not a newbie. This isn't your first time doing a deal where you're the only one who doesn't have the experience. No, you have much more experience than you let yourself have credit for. Start giving yourself the acknowledgement. What you are doing. You know who you are. And
Yeah.
create the reality where it's safe to express yourself authentically. So it begins with people you love, people who know you, people who you are safe with.
Mm.
And say, Donald, can we practice? I need some practice. I'm afraid you're going to hate me. He's going to smile and laugh and go for it. Do your damage, do your worst. And he's still going to be there. And you're going to learn some things about, wow, I could have said that more nicely. Ooh, I really need to practice. Being clear and authentic, but not being a bully. Not that you are. You're not a bully. You're usually super nice. But when you wait too long to be honest, it carries resentment in the words. It's hard to be clear and loving when you're resenting the hell out of somebody. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So say, Donald, you're going to play the partners. You're not you're the partners. And I'm going to tell them how I want to end this or change it or ask them to show up, whatever it is. You're free to do any of those things and more. But you're going to practice with Donald for a few moments just to see where am I at about just speaking the words. I don't have the words yet. I'm freaked out. I'm scared. Or I know exactly what I'm going to beat him up. It's a whole spectrum, right? I don't want to say anything I want to beat him up. And you need to find that middle ground. That is truly who you are. With the love, with the kindness. And that's how you begin. Do you think you can do that?
I do. Yes.
Wonderful. We love you so.
I feel a lot better. Thank you for listening.
You're right on track. Is there someone else?
Patricia, Patricia has a hand. She came in later, so she didn't.
Yes, we began by saying we'll take people next week. So Patricia, hopefully that'll be all right with you. Be in the midst of the energy of the equinox.
Patricia, is that okay, or is it something really urgent that you just? It'll take just a couple of minutes. Patricia?
Yeah, it's a bit urgent because it's going to be happening this weekend.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Tar. Really, thank you. I was working today with allowing the artistry of receiving, and I had a tremendous healing in one of the meditations. And how the confirmation of that healing was my wallet was stolen last week and my credit cards are taken, etc. And there has been, and I reported this like on last Wednesday, and my primary credit card, they kept saying, no, we don't overnight anymore. We don't overnight anymore. So I need a credit card for certain recurring things that I'm involved with. And so anyway, I did this meditation and I came home and there was a credit card at the the replacement card in the mail. Hooray.
Yes, beautiful. So claim that magic.
Yeah,
I
do.
I'm willing to receive.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So I realized too that I need to change the pictures of what I'm projecting on this art show this coming weekend, which is the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And I was picturing it's been a pretty dismal year for art sales for me. And I've had an accumulation of, oh my God, this is going to say, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I said, no, I need to change those pictures. So I changed the pictures. And I saw people because I've questioned, is this really worth anything? Well, damn it. Yeah, makes people happy. I just could see them. And it's true when somebody buys something for themselves, art or anything else, they're extremely happy. So I have these happy pictures.
Beautiful.
So
Yes.
I come home and I have an interaction with this man that I've had a relationship with, which has not been romantic for me, is for him. And I continuously feel that I'm a disappointment to him because of that. So my resonance, I have a conversation with him on the phone. He's had a terrible day. I feel guilty because I feel like I have to fix his day. And then I resent that. That's my projection. And so now my resonance is now in the toilet. So the bottom line is I'm saying I don't deserve to have the success, to allow the success I'm picturing, which would be major fun for the people who receive these paintings and for myself who wants to receive this money. I don't have a right to do that because I'm not good enough in this relationship. So I can't be a martyr in this relationship and not be a martyr in the rest of my life. I don't know. If you could just give me just a.
Well, that's right there, the key, isn't it? To really recognize, oh, when I go into martyrhood, and I'm not in it all the time, and I'm not even really in it with him. But the question is, are you setting clear boundaries with him? Are you communicating clearly? Look, I'm really not interested in romance. I love the attention. I love the talking. I love the sharing, but I'm not really up for romance. Now, you don't have to do that if you are thinking there might be an opportunity in the future. But what's
Mhm.
important about being clear up front is, well, then it's really on him. He can shower you with gifts and love and all that as much as he wants, knowing that you're not really available because you were clear. Doesn't mean you're not willing to receive. Does that make sense? It's a subtle
Oh,
difference.
well,
So
yeah.
as you set up, okay, I'm really not feeling romantically, but I adore you as a friend. Are you okay with that? Are you good with that? He's going to say what he says. He's either going to say, yeah, but I have romantic feelings about you. Are you okay with that? And then you have to say, well, sure, but as long as it doesn't get in my way. But see, these kind of conversations don't usually happen. Usually you suffer silently. Another sign of martyrhood. Roll your eyes. Oh my God, he's at it again. He loves me too much.
Yeah.
So that you can punish him in the future, so you can just say no or never say no, but just drag him along either way. As you get clear on, I feel guilty not because of what he's doing.
Right. No.
I
It's
feel
me.
guilty because I haven't said what I need to say.
Yeah.
And we're not saying don't appreciate what he has been for you. I really appreciate the attention. I really appreciate the care. I appreciate somebody checking in on me. But I don't want romance
Mhm.
in the way that it happens in storybooks. I want a friend. What do you think? And he's either going to say yes or no. But it should
Yeah.
be a conversation where both of you have a choice. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And he's not so out to lunch that he doesn't know that you aren't really interested, but he's got high hopes. He's got imagination. He's intentional about it, and he might actually win in the end if you don't start imagining what you want. So you see, it's a dance, but it's a dance you don't want to be in right now. And you want to love yourself enough to say, I don't like feeling guilty, so I just need to be honest and I want to be kind about it, but it might come off really bad. But I do appreciate you for your friendship if that's there. If you want to continue friendship, then you say that. If you don't, if you just want them out of your life, that's a different conversation. Then you say thank you for all you've done, and I don't know how clear I can be. I'm really not interested in a relationship.
I have said I see this as a friendship.
Yeah, and what does he say back?
Well, but it's been a long time since I repeated that. Um,
Maybe
so
it's time to be honest
yeah.
if your feelings have deteriorated, because resentment isn't good for you and it's not good for the friendship. And as you're noticing, I'm really afraid that my resentment's going to spill over into my art world. And what I'm
Into my
hearing,
whole life. Yeah.
if I'm in the resonance of martyrhood, I can't control that. And that scares me.
Yeah.
And it should. It's a warning from your higher self, from your reality. Hey, it's martyrhood is not a resonant match to these dreams and visions and wonderful imaginings that you've been putting, happy pictures you've been creating, you've been generating, you've been doing the work, and you fully intend to reap the reward. Martyrhood is not part of that happy picture, is it?
No, it isn't. It totally
And
throws water
saying
all
that
over it.
martyrs can't make money. Martyrs can make money, no problem. It's not that they're mutually exclusive. Just like they can make it rain, they can make the money, but they don't necessarily enjoy it or appreciate it, and they don't have gratitude, and they don't have grace, and they don't have all the things that you are up to. So the whole guilty, resentful thing that's happening here is just a warning from your higher self saying, look, it's not a resonant match to what you're up to. Maybe just handle it. Be kind and tell the truth and see how it goes.
I do really care about his
Yes,
happiness and
clear
safety.
that you do care. Doesn't mean you want to be romantic,
No, it doesn't.
and it's okay. Not a problem if you're honest about it.
Do you think I have to talk about, I don't think this is going anywhere in the future? No, I can just stay in the
Really, it's up
present
to
moment.
you. If you want to leave that open as I don't really know what I want right now, but I do know that I don't want romantic overtones. And then he's going to say, well, what does it look like? And you have to have an idea of what's okay for him to do. Well, I'm okay getting flowers. No, I'm not okay getting flowers. I'm okay getting money. No, I'm not okay with getting money. I'm okay with you taking me out to dinner. No, I'm not okay with you taking me. Which one? Choose. It can be a combination. It can be a variety. What are your boundaries? What's the container that he can express his caring in that you're willing to receive and not overcome you with this feeling of he's too much for me. He's crossing my boundaries. So it's up to you to choose what they are. There's no right or wrong answer here. But there are certain things he's doing that are triggering you to be resentful. And as you get honest about it's those things I don't like. It's those things I'm saying no to. And if
I
he's
think,
okay with that, then we don't really need to have a future together.
I think I'm projecting onto him that I'm responsible to make him happy. Like today, he had a miserable day. And right away, I felt obligated to make him happy and almost instantly resentful. And he didn't say that he wanted that, but that is me doing that. So that's still a boundary issue, correct?
Well, we would suggest there's probably something deeper there, an old pattern where somebody insisted that you make things okay for them.
Yes,
So who did
yes.
you need to rescue? Was it your mom or your dad?
My mother. It was my mother.
Yeah, so as
And
you As you
piss
go
me
take
off.
care of your little girl and say, you know what, you're not responsible for your mother being happy. Only she can choose to feel happy. And she has the freedom not to, you see. But it impacted you as a little girl to be told you're responsible for making her happy. So you've done it before. You just revisit her with your higher self, put her in the new reality, say, look, it's not your job.
Yeah.
You now have created a family scene, new parents or whatever you've done with her, that where she has the love she needs. And stay there long enough to experience that she's nurtured, she's loved for who she is, she's unconditionally loved by your higher self, as you know. And she has the freedom to be safe.
Yeah. 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 And
Parents
she's
who are responsible for their own happiness. And what does that feel like? What does that look like? So that when you come back into this timeline, this reality, and you have a conversation, oh my gosh, I realize now you just wanted to share how your day went. You were trying to be vulnerable.
great.
Maybe. Not necessarily. So some people complain because they really do want something from you. But it's up to you to differentiate when that happens. So trust your gut. If you took on anything from him in order to make him feel better, ask your higher self to lift it. Oh my gosh, I took some stuff on him. Now I feel like crap. That's usually
Exactly.
if after a quick conversation you feel bad where you were feeling good. Now, bad to bad is not the same thing, but good to bad, a marked difference in your resonance means you took on some of his stuff. And you didn't do it for no reason. You did it because you knew you have the tools to ask your higher self to lift it. So you asked to have it be lifted.
Thank you. That makes so much sense. And there are, yeah, the day after I see him, we usually see each other a day and a half a week. And the next day, I am exhausted.
Yeah, because you were trying to
Sometimes
process his stuff. It's not
I
going to.
am. And I don't want to do that. And it's not good for him either. It's not good for either one of us.
No, but it was on some level you saw the opportunity. You know what? He really doesn't know how to deal with this, but I do.
Yeah, that's true.
I have the tools. I have the relationship with my higher self. But I do have to follow through and ask my higher self to lift it.
I will do that. And thank you very much because
We love you.
I want to have a fun and successful show.
Yes, keep imaging the happy pictures and the love and the abundance and the beauty that is in your work that is being shared, and how important it is to share that and to give people the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, because it does shift, art shifts the resonance in a room. When I take my work out to a show,
Absolutely.
my house feels like a tomb because there's no.
Well, and we want you to recognize that you carry your light. And when you enter a space, your light receives you into that space. So see yourself arriving and setting up and all that, but the light that you put there in advance is already there, waiting for you, waiting to welcome you.
Thank you. That's great. I love it.
We love you so
Thank you, Tara. Thank you.
wonderful. All right. And on that note, thank you all. Such deep conversation. So you have changed. That which you dealt with in the meditation has been changed. And now you're going to have the words to describe what you're free of or what you're willing to be even more free of. So make a list, a long list of this is what I want this equinox. Higher self, make it so. All right. We love you so. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace as we bring Katharina back. Until next time.